Episode 1. The orphanage headmistress, Mrs. Daly, was in an excellent mood this morning. The old hag was excited because the Lycan king would be visiting the orphanage today. He hasn't been here once in the 8 years Abbie and I have lived here. We didn't know what to expect. Mrs. Daly, however, did. She expected perfection and not a thing out of place, giving Abbie and I more tasks than usual. So many chores we both knew would never be done in time for his arrival. Abbie and I had been dreading this day, not because the Lycan king was visiting, but because today is the day we find out if we get to live another, or if it is the day it all ends. My life was anything but easy, being born a rogue. Growing up, I longed to have what my parents told me about Pax, unity, and family, other kids to play with besides Abbie. Her family lived with us before her parents were killed along with mine, then both of us were brought here. Thankfully though, because of some law all Pax strictly live by, I was shown mercy, or a version of. It was against the Pack law to kilI rogue children. They call it mercy, but in reality, it is anything but. My parents were rogues. We lived a life on the run, but we were free. That all ended when I was 10. Now I live in the Pack orphanage. Abbie and I are the only 2 rogues that reside here. Abbie rushes into the room, her red locks swishing past me as she dumps the fresh bed linen on the bottom bunk. There were 6 bunks in every room, and there were 12 rooms. We had to have each room cleaned and made up before starting lunch. Breakfast was something I hadn't had in years, same as Abbie. There was just no time. Time was something we were already running out of in more ways than one. I start stripping beds, tossing the sheets on the floor in a pile. Abbie goes over, ripping the heavy black drapes open and cracking the windows open slightly, letting in the fresh air. It was cold this morning. The air had a cold chill, but I knew I would be sweating and welcoming that cold draft in around 20 minutes. Once the bed linen is stripped, I start making beds. The most challenging part was the top bunks. They could be a real bitch to get flat. Mrs. Daly didn't like wrinkles in the bed linen, and she always checked, twisting her canes between her hands while she checked each bed. Heaven forbid she doesn't like something, or you made it wrong. I have lost count of the times my skin was welted by that cane or the thin whip wrapped around its handle.
Full story is available at novelpalace.com. Click the link in the comment section to get it free.